Hello, hello, Awesome Soul here, and welcome back to D.R.O.N.E. In our little mountainous cave valley map. It doesn't really have a proper name, it's just called Mountain Base version 20 is what I'm up to currently. But it's been a little while since I've done one of these kind of videos, sort of like a map building type thing. If you haven't seen these videos before, basically I show off what I've done previously, and then any changes I've made in the meantime, and then I start on something new, which we'll be building over here for this one. Though if you have seen the last video, you'll probably recognize this area, but with a lot more trees. So if we just grab ourselves a nice drone here, we'll just fly around and show off the drone's eye view of what this new area looks like as we crash into a tree there. Fantastic. So here is this area here. We don't really have anything in here at the moment, at least up on the first two levels. This level is more or less a computer lab kind of thing. Not sure what purpose it really serves, but I don't know what else to put there, quite frankly, so that will work. Down here, we just have storage for, I guess, any minerals they might find down in these caves. And then the cave proper. Now, you'll probably recognize this if you did, in fact, watch the last video, but it looks a bit different, especially when we're looking up top here. Because immediately as you fly out, you've got a lot more greenery. You've got some greenery back here as well. Those are really the only new things, I guess. Because besides that, I didn't really change much. There's no new buildings or anything else. It's just the trees. But it does add a massive and much needed addition to the map. Because it was very barren before, and really, there was no cover unless you actually ducked into the cave. So, I don't know, maybe the cave will be used slightly less now that these trees are here, but it makes the map look a lot better. Much, much better, in my opinion, at least. Now, we still have the default textures on these things, but I think what I might do is wait till the next update comes out for the demo, which the backers should be getting relatively soon. And from what I understand, it will include a new texturing tool where you can recolor your cubes that you place down. At least I think it's in the next demo. If not, it will be coming eventually. But anyways, from here, we will go on over to this section, which I guess is kind of the last section. Although not entirely. I don't know how I'm going to divide it up. I have a general idea in my head, but I don't know. Once I get more proper planning, I will rejoin you in a little bit. Alright, so we have created a kind of arena dome thing. It's not gonna end up looking like this in the very end. It's gonna be covered, much like most of the other things in this map. Kind of going for the whole cave throughout this map type of theming, if you want to even call it that. But yes, what I am kind of planning to do, I mean, it's a rough plan, so I'm kind of just going with the flow on this one, to be quite frank. But this is going to be a covered dome, where there will be some structures up top, and then maybe one that will lead down below. So you can fight in this relatively wide open underground ring type thing. There's going to be an exit and entrance here, and then I'll probably put another entrance slash exit over on that side. And then there will be a third one if you want to go up through the roof. Maybe I'll have some random openings as well, much like how I did this, just, you know, on a much, much smaller scale. So after a little bit more planning, I will rejoin you guys once I honestly know what the heck I'm actually doing. Okay, so we've got ourselves an outer ring of rocks here, just to kind of start us off. Now, what I'm going to be doing is, I guess, kind of trying to figure out the dead center of this. It kind of looks to be about it right there. Though I do have to make sure I'm on the right level. This should be fine. I'll be able to build up from there. Okay. Let's zoom on out. Yeah. Looks to be about dead center. Good enough. It doesn't have to be perfect, I guess. Would be nice if it was, but it's not really a necessity, because this map is asymmetrical anyways. When the game finally comes out, like, you know, multiplayer format, I don't really know what kind of game modes I'll allow on this thing. It really depends on what kind of games there are, but for something asymmetrical, maybe team versus team might not be the best. But we'll see. So, this little area here is basically the main point, and then I think I'm going to have like two connecting tower pillar type things up there, but this center one is the only real way to get below into the main belly of the beast. Okay. So, might as well do that now. This is going to be the walkway. Mind you, it's a bit of a large walkway, maybe a little bit too big, so let's scrap that, bring this back a little further. There we go. I think that looks a bit better. You don't want it to be too wide, otherwise it just ends up looking odd, kind of. But yeah, once I get the tower set up, I'll rejoin you, as I normally do. So, while I was going through this design, I kind of realized there's no actual way to easily get up here. So, I put this thing. Now, if we fly back over here from previous episodes, you'll remember I did a helicopter pad, and that is precisely what I will be putting over here, just for general ease of access. I mean, I guess you could hike up this mountain, but it's pretty rough terrain. Maybe you could get through via one of these towers? Actually, that's not a terrible idea. I might end up doing that. Because this is pretty close to that side as well. Yeah, you know what? I might end up doing exactly that. We'll see, though. No nothing set in stone at the moment. From here, I have to figure out how I'm going to get the drones to go back down underneath, because, like I was saying earlier, everything here is going to be covered up. I think. Maybe I'll have a couple holes where rocks have fallen through, but other than that, the easiest way would be to get inside here and then go down. Or I guess the easiest way to get out would probably be through this big, well-lit hole. Originally, I planned to have it here, but honestly, I think it fits a little bit better over here, seeing as this is kind of the bigger, larger main area. But we will see, because ultimately, this one is just a general idea. I'm kind of going with the flow. But yes, you know the drill. Let's get back to building. There we are. Finally, after quite a bit of work, I got it done. So, sure you saw most of it through the sped up footage, but I guess I'll go over things real quick. Got some nice balconies here. These are upper entrance areas for smaller drones. Decided to add one over here as well, because, you know, utilizing this nice view, why not? I also ended up using these smaller floors just for the edging, just so it's a little bit better looking, because it's using the thin walls here rather than the thick walls, like these ones here. And then in the end, I decided to opt for the hole here and not there where I said, mainly because I figured this would look better as the entranceway, because you've got this huge bay window here that just looks really nice. And if you're going to have a bay window and you're going to block it off with a giant hole, it's kind of pointless. Actually, this is a really nice view. I just realized I've never properly taken a good look at it here. So the view will change a little bit though, because we're going to cover this up and we're going to put trees up here, just like how we put trees on these rocks over there. Which, trees on rocks, you might say, sounds kind of weird, but again, when you're flying through, it doesn't really seem like, I don't know, it doesn't seem like rocks, because it's got like the grass on top. It just seems like a really uneven forest. So it ends up looking alright, at least in my opinion. Now, the next step is to cover up this little area here. I guess it's not that little of an area. And then figure out what we're going to be doing underneath in this cave section. Looking pretty good. So we've got ourselves completely covered up on the top, or at least covered where I want it to be. So we have our first entrance here. You come in here, you can go up into here, or you can come out of this area here. Obviously, you can simply fly into it as well. It's a little easier than going for this one, but if you come up into here, might be a little bit more of a stealth option since you are technically inside a building. Though opening and closing the doors will be a little loud, so I don't know. The main reason I put this here is because I wanted to have 3 cave exits plus 1 building exit. So you've got the upper area in the rock. Couldn't really do one back here because it was too close to the barrier and you don't really want to fly right into the barrier. So I thought that was a better spot. We've got this one, and then soon we will have one over in this direction as well. It's not really going to be any way to get up here. We have these doors here, but honestly, these towers are really just here for aesthetic purposes, just to look fancy. The only real building that actually has any use here is this main one. I guess this pad kind of, but it's more for aesthetics as well. Anyways, from here we have to figure out how exactly we're going to cut a hole in this rock and still make it look nice. I think this probably is the best spot for it. So let's see what we can do here. Maybe making the brush a little bit smaller would be a better idea. Okay, not bad there. Let's just smooth it out and see what this ends up looking like. Try looking at it from a different angle, I guess. You know what? That's not bad. That's not bad at all. That really works. Very similar to this one. Not quite ground level, but close enough. Good enough space to get large drones through. I think we've got our entrance. Very nice. So, the next thing we need, if we go back to objects here, we need a couple of stone pillars. I think that's kind of fitting here. Let's bring those up to the top, like so. Just to make the cave seem like it's not gonna collapse at a moment's notice. Probably a good idea. Let's go for one of these guys. Actually, I'll have to, whoops, put it back in. There we go, put it back in this area. Because it is a little bit on the large side. But that kind of works. It might, yeah, this would make for a good hiding spot, actually. You can't really hide from both angles at once, so that's kind of cool, if you look at it that way. If one player's coming in through here, you might not be able to see it, but if a player goes onto that side, they would be able to see the person hiding there. I think that's a cool feature. Though I do think we should probably make this look a little bit nicer back here. Just add a couple more stones. Just so it's not completely sticking out. I don't know, it just looks weird on its own. You kind of know what I mean? Hopefully you do. That should be fine, maybe? Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. Alright, let's just do the same over here, otherwise it's going to look a little bit odd. Anyway, I'll finish up in the cave and do whatever else I decide to do with this setup. And done. More or less, anyway. So, I have baked the terrain, and that means the shadows look a lot more impressive. Figured I would do that before heading into the cave and finally showing it off for you guys. Because now, it's actually dark in here, and the lights kind of make a bit more sense. Although it would make it a bit easier to see. Actually, that reflection is pretty good. Glad I went with those. Anyways, it would be easier to see if it was a lot darker outside. So, let's do that. Just turned up the clouds. So not only is it now darker in the cave, it's a little bit more foggy as well. So immediately coming into here, we see right away up in the roof, it's glowing quite a bit. Odd. Seems like... Yeah, it seems like when you bake the terrain, the rocks kind of change a little bit. Because maybe it was just the angle I was at. But I mean, was this rock always here? Because I don't think that was clipping in. Oh well, hopefully I don't have any clipping rocks up here. Doesn't look like it. I mean, I've got a few, but those were already there. Semi-intentional. They looked cool, so I just kind of went with them. But yeah, at night, just looking pretty good. The towers turned out well, though what we do need are some actual lights inside here besides these lights. I'm not going to do it now, just because I've baked the terrain and I would have to rebake it, which takes a little while. I mean, not too long if you don't have much on your map, but I'm getting up there with things on the map. Actually, this is looking kind of cool with the clouds rolling in. Foggy and mysterious. I like that. Nice little flat plateau. It would look a lot nicer once we actually have trees and plants up there, which I'll probably get to now, I think. Not such a bad idea. One of the perfect examples one of the examples I had in mind when designing this area, especially when it came to planting the trees, was to leave this open area, basically have it as a visual, eye-catching kind of path, if that makes any sense. So like immediately when you come out of here, you see this hole. And since there's no trees or bushes in your way, you're like, oh, I guess I should probably head up there. Is that a light? Oh, let me check that out. And if you come out this way as well, you'll see there's a lot of trees, but then there's this hole down here. What could that be? There's nothing obscuring my path, so let's check it out. You know, that kind of thing. Like you want to try and lead the player around by placing certain things in certain locations on the map. Just a little tip there for other map makers out there. And then we come out to this area, which I thought I might be able to finish, but this kind of turned out a bit smaller than I thought. So I guess it kind of works out, because that means we have another episode to do. We'll fill this out, and I don't know. I'm not sure what with, though. That's kind of the problem. I think more structures. I think we're kind of done for cave systems. I might somehow connect this with that, but I don't know how at the moment. And I'm a little tired, to be quite frank. It's nearly 2 in the morning. I'm doing some late recording here. Hopefully you appreciate that. But yes, for now, I will call it here. Let me know what you think of all of this, and did you like the fact that I actually planted the trees in the episode? Because all the other previous ones I've sort of saved the tree planting for off-screen. But I think it actually worked out pretty well. Gives you guys an idea of how I like to plant my trees. I guess if that's something you're into. But yeah, that'll do it. I'll wrap it up here. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and feedback is always good. But with that, I of course have been the Awesome Soul. I thank you all so very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care.